take versus a younger person's take. So please don't go away because this affects all of us. Stay tuned. Hi, May. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And today we're talking about climate change, which is super hot topic.
Yeah.
And what I'd like to know from what is your take on you know the environment and things like that.
I think that we definitely it's already there. It's right in front of us. Places are getting flooded. It's significantly hotter.
Yeah.
And you hear the news. We might not feel like it touches us because being in Malaysia, I think that we're quite sheltered. We're not really smack in the center of the issues, but around the world, if you stop being so ignorant and actually tune in a little bit,
Mhm.
it's really sad. I think that is it Italy? There's like really bad floods now as well.
No, only certain parts of Italy, but yes, definitely. But I think more recent that comes to memory is of course Canada, the fires that actually caused haze to New York City and all because it was really that bad. And then of course, not too long ago, I think it was just believe it's 2020. I may be wrong. Where Australia had major fires and all their wildlife were burnt, and it was just horrifying. And of course, not too long ago, places like in Hawaii, which is a beautiful island resort,
Mm.
and this is definitely due to climate changes.
So what do you think about it?
Well, when I was growing up, definitely the awareness of climate change was not as significant as it is today. I truly believe that it's the fault of my generation.
I was going to say that, so I'm very glad that she said it first.
And we really, to me, we had really done an awful job of taking of Mother Nature and not respecting Mother Nature at all.
Mm.
And I hope that it's not too late that we and your generation can come together and make those changes. Um, I think it is impossible to say that we there are people who say, "Oh, I don't want to drive. I don't want to fly because of the carbon footprint," or I only want to eat certain foods and then
Plant-based.
plant based, which is difficult because not everyone is willing to sacrifice for that. I mean, even the celebrities and all that. Some of them have these private jets and planes, and they are contributing to climate
Yeah.
change as well,
Yeah.
right? So it is very difficult. But I think when it comes to countries and nations, politicians have to realize that um, the climate is changing, and if we don't take care of it, it's not just the people who will suffer, but the politicians who tend to only think about themselves and their own pockets and lining their own pockets, is the one that will be affected as well. And this is a long term, long haul problem that we cannot ignore it anymore. That's my personal take. And I firmly believe that um, if the fact that we can make those changes that doesn't cost us too much,
Mm.
more and more people will definitely practice the usual, like don't use straws, bringing their bags instead of using plastic bags, um, buying local as much as possible,
Mm.
which is what I do now as much as I can.
How? How could you explain? How do you buy local? Like, what do you mean?
Well, if I am, let's say, if I, in my when I'm in Malaysia, so I will try to eat more local produce, something
Okay.
that is within the region instead of trying to buy everything that is imported,
Okay.
not because of anything, but because they are good food here, and why should we try to buy everything, imported, which actually adds on to the cost as well. And then, maybe doing things that are, walk more, cycle more, which
Mm.
help you with exercise, right? Instead of driving every corner. I do try. I know aircon is a big contention because we all love the cooler air,
Yeah.
but it's a vicious cycle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's very hot. You switch on the aircon, and then you're actually contributing to more heat going out there as well.
Yeah. I don't know, but I know that it's something that like we really need to do. Like especially that I have a kid, and my kid says this to me. He's like, "Mama, like we need to recycle. Like please protect my environment. You know, when I grow up." And it's actually really scary to think that like when they are adults, like what is the world really going to be like for them? Like, is there going to be like bubbles around humans because the air is just not good enough anymore? Like, and the small things that we can do, like Karen mentioned, the not using of straws at home trying to recycle. I know it's very like mafan, right?
It is.
Because if you want to recycle, you must wash it out. You cannot just like
Throw in,
throw
yeah.
it in. You have to really rinse it out.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that being in the UK, like when I was in the UK, I found it. I was more motivated to do all of these things because everyone sort of does it, and like on different days they pick up different rubbish. So they pick up like the recyclables, like. Whereas here we don't see that. We only see one rubbish man.
Yeah. And they chuck everything together.
Yeah.
You can separate everything, and they still chuck everything together and push it out there.
So as much as you want to, like you're just not really encouraged or motivated. I think as humans we have this very like we want to save face as well. So like if everyone in your neighborhood is kind of doing something, you don't want to seem like that really messed up family that doesn't do it right, right? So
True, but I think that is the fact that they find you.
mm,
So I think that maybe Malaysian government, if they are serious about making an impactful change, first off, provide more recycling stations.
yes,
Provide more recycling stations so that people can throw their garbage at the right places, and enforce all apartments to have the recycling bins. That way, that if all residents, if they have one 300 residents and they all throw their things accordingly, that is already a good
very
thing.
good. Yeah,
And if they don't, find them,
yeah.
because people will not change unless their pocket hurts.
Oh, that's true. That's
That
actually very
that
true.
is the ultimate truth, and in any change. And I don't think Mother Nature can take it much more at the way we are destroying the place that we live in.
Yeah.
And what world are we leaving to our children and our children's children? And you have a young son, and I'm sure you want your son to come to live, a good life with where you have still clean water, clear air,
It's
that kind.
actually crazy. Like there's therapy pods where like now because it's already bad, you can go like all these fancy people. They all go for these pods where you get like Himalayan air for like 30 minutes. Like they have all of these like little centers now,
Right.
just to like give it to our body because that's what our body needs. And if our body needs that sense of cleanliness, then instead of making it something that businesses can turn into something that they can sell to us and then only like the rich will be able to afford this good stuff, we're feeding into a cycle, and before it gets to that point and becomes a norm, I think that we should definitely do something about it, whether it's like also teaching the children to do it in schools. I know that in schools like they some schools have the recycling bins, but
Mm-hmm.
then actually teaching people like how to you have to remove the paper from the plastic, and then you got to
Yeah.
like really open it up.
Correct. Yeah.
And then sometimes like certain plastics you can't like this is not things that are really taught to us.
No, exactly. So that for Malaysia, it's time to educate people, and not just adults, even much older. Like my parents, it's so hard to stop them from playing with water because they love to splash water all over the place, and I have to turn off the tap and stop it because the problem is that's what they grew up with. They were so used. I mean, we Malaysia in that era was water was in abundance. There's no issue.
Mm.
So they grew up like washing their cars every day, twice a day, and playing with water. So something like that, something so simple. And water is very hard to come by. I mean, we are so lucky to have water still, but don't take it for granted because and fresh air, unpolluted air, clean water should not be exclusive to people who can afford it. It's our human right to have this,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so in terms of what are you doing to help? Because don't think that, oh, this is a rich man problem. It's
Yeah.
not.
No.
It's your problem as much as it is ours. And we got to understand, even like I learned that even something like your clothes, that did you know that production of t-shirts and the dye, they why there are certain more responsible producers or manufacturers compared to others is that they contribute to almost 54% of the pollutants that goes to our rivers and our sea due to just the dye and whatever material the t-shirt may have. And that's scary because you want to do the right thing. So I can't afford always to buy the best, most expensive organic outfit.
Mm.
But what I would do then is I try to recycle, or I try to wear the same as much as I can until it dies off, that kind of thing. Trying to, I'm not saying we shouldn't buy nice things. I'm just saying that be more conscious about what you're spending on to that that will be helpful to the environment. And right now in my life, I'm trying to declutter.
Okay.
I'm really trying to declutter. And I could say when you're younger, you want to buy a lot of things. You want to buy things because we do live in a very materialistic society, unfortunately. And right now, you come to a phase where you realize I don't need 20 or 30 t-shirts because essentially I'm wearing that five again and again and again.
Yes.
And I don't, there's so many things that you don't really need and that you can live without,
Yes.
right? I have to say that I see hope with the younger generation like yourself because for sure my generation actually screwed up
Yes.
the
Do you
environment.
want to apologize?
Okay. I will apologize on behalf of all the baby boomers for messing up the whole mother nature and earth. But it is um, it's scary, and I hope that you know that you guys, being the younger generation, will make the change that we desperately need to revive our mother nature.
So I just want to add something when you're talking about fashion, right? So for all of my, well, not even just the younger one, like not just the Gen Zs, millennials, but even baby boomers. So H&M has this thing. If you want to buy like new outfits and things, like if you have a lot of old clothes and you bring it to H&M in a bag, they will actually recycle your clothes for you and they give you a 50 ringgit gift voucher for you to spend in the store. So
Okay.
that's a good way. Like if you have extra clothes, you feel a little bit guilty, and if you don't feel a bit guilty, think about it. And you can just put it into a bag, bring it to any H&M store, and they will give you a 50 ringgit voucher, and they will recycle your clothes. For you.
Anything at all.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be H&M clothes. It could be any clothes.
Okay.
Put it into a bag and bring it. One bag translates to 50 ringgit.
Wow, I will do that. But yeah, okay, I will.
And then
definitely.
you can buy your new clothes without feeling too bad about it.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And I always bring my grocery bags,
Mm.
and I do separate all my bins as much as I can, only to find the garbage collector will just throw
Put
it
out
all
together.
back
Yeah.
again. Excuse me. And when we shower, I would make sure that it's quick and clean.
Yeah, quick and clean. Yes.
And no running water and any willy nilly kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, what would you like to leave Zach with in the next 10, 20 years?
Leave him with in what
In
sense?
terms of what kind of earth would you like to see
I definitely want like the fact that air, like the air with the haze and everything. Like I want there to be good air, like air for him. Um, I think that that's the biggest thing for me because we breathe as humans. You can't avoid that, and all of these things does contribute to the air itself, the quality of air that we breathe. And whether it's just a cough today, 10 years from now, it could really translate into something way worse. And I just really hope that we can clean up the environment enough that the air that my son breathes is going to be good for his body, and can keep him going to live a long life without having to pay for 30 minutes of Himalayan air.
So, at the end of the day, what are you doing to help Mother Nature is not just for someone else. This is for everyone, for humankind. And I hope that you will share with us what are the little steps. Every little steps count, and to make our earth more pleasant, more livable for our next generation. Share with us, and I hope that we can talk a little bit more in our coming episodes.
See you soon.
See you. Bye.